It is now recording.
Hello. What are we doing?
I don't know. But we're gonna do something funny, I reckon.
Okay. Just wait. Just like wait for funny to happen.
There was a time okay, hold. There was a time I'm having a stroke. Fuck! I can't!
You.
Shut up! I'm trying to recover. I mess up people's appearances a lot. Well, it's not like I just look at someone and then I just like take a guess on who they are because my brain couldn't process it, like, and then 1 second later I figure it out. I'm saying like I just think that people look like people I know, like, from behind, and that usually gets me into it usually gets me into a lot of embarrassing situations. There was this one time that I remember that I was in McDonald's and my dad's like, go order the McChicken that you so like, and I'm like, okay, like, join the line with your stepmother, and I'm like, all right, and I'm going, and I see this lady like with their back turned, and I'm like, hey stepmom, and I'm like, wait, and then she turns around, and I immediately turn around right after, and I'm like, then I get confused, and then I actually find her, and then I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
It's like just instant regret.
Yeah, it's like those things I tell you. It's like that one thing, like the thing like that you're about to do, but like you realize like it's wrong only after you've done it, you know?
Yeah, like you're in the process of doing it, and then you realize, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But you just immediately do it right after you think. I've done that before, actually. Back on the topic of like mixing up people from behind, I once hugged a man thinking it was my uncle from behind.
No.
It was kind of I was like 7 years old. I was a very small child, and you know I came up to just a random dude on the fucking street and just hugged him from behind.
God, I mean,
and my dad was right beside me. He just laughed at me immediately, just died.
I mean,
I
at
don't
least
even know where my fucking uncle was then.
I mean, at least you have the excuse of, you know, being a child. The thing I told you that happened like 3 years ago.
Have you told the channel yet?
What? What have I told the channel?
I just blanked really hard on what the fuck we were doing. I'm sorry.
You were just like...
You tell a story, and I'm like, okay, you can tell the story now, and you're like, but I just told the fucking story. I'm wait.
I'm just like telling this story. You're having like Vietnam flashbacks in the back.
No, that's exactly what happened. I don't think I've told the scary story from when I was a child.
Scary story?
Kind of. Like, the thing about my, actually I have two from that same apartment complex. I lived on the ground floor with my parents and my sister. Yeah. I still live with my sister, but we don't live in an apartment anymore, we live in a house. This was years and years ago. I was like 6 or 7. Most of these stories happen in this time span where it was like between 5 to 8. And I shared a room with my sister back then. And there was a window in her room that was led right outside to the little like playground area that was behind the building. And we always thought that a playground was kind of weird and ominous. And a few times, me and my sister, we were in our room. We looked out the window, and the swings were moving by themselves. And you know that thing that spins, the merry-go-round?
Yeah.
It was spinning on its own, and that thing is heavy as shit, dude. It's like a metal, like really heavy thing. It's impossible for it to spin on its own. And like, it wasn't windy. It was a hot day, and there was no wind. everything. It wasn't the only day that happened. That happened very often, especially with the swings. It was very weird, and to this day, we still think that place is fucking haunted. There are a lot of like, we've had shit fall. Went in the room and nothing fell. Like there's nothing fallen over, nothing on the ground. Everything was the same. Shit actually falling over. Nothing ever broke, thank God. Because our parents would definitely blame us. Doors slamming with no wind. It was very weird. It was a very weird place, and I hate that place. My nan lives there, and I don't like going there. There was also another story, which is a bit more lighthearted, but at the same time very dark and sad. When it rained, there were slugs all over the place. There was like millions of fucking slugs everywhere outside. And it rained one day, there were a ton of slugs outside. There was one right outside our window. Me and my sister thought, hey, what actually happens when you throw salt on a slug? We don't know. Let's try that.
Oh no.
Because we've always heard tales of what happens. And we were like, okay, nothing too bad can happen, right? We go outside, get a bit of salt, throw it on it, and immediately regret it. We cried. It was that sad. We cried a lot that day. We never did it again.
You know, it's gonna sound very fucking soulless, but despite my affection for animals and stuff, when I was 8, I used to do that for fun because I had nothing else to do, and I was just like,
That's
interesting.
up.
You know, you saying that you reminded me of a fact about my house. So, in the roof of my house, there's like hollow spaces between the bricks, right? And since the very beginning that we live on this house, the birds just like to hang out there, and they just build their nest there. And there's like, I'm very sure that on each hole of each fucking brick opening, there's a bird nest guaranteed to be there. And because of that, like, the birds have to be careful because, you know, there's like little holes, but the edges from like, you know, they could make, it's just very it's very easy for hatchlings to fall, and very rarely. It used to happen more frequently back then, but very rarely I can still see hatchlings falling from the fucking roof. Well, I don't see them falling, but I just wake up and I see a dead hatchling on the floor, and I'm like, wow.
That is really sad.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, I see dead pigeons like ran over on my street sometimes. I'm like, oh, fuck! I don't want to go here anymore.
I see used condoms.
I see cocaine pins.
Oh no.
Because there are a lot of drug dealers in my street.
Oh, right. When I was 8, I had a lot of. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but like, I mean, I don't know if like sleep paralysis is solvable or fixable completely, but it's gonna be on the screen. Like when I was 8, every time I would wake up. Doesn't matter if I had a dream, if I didn't have a dream, I would just wake up with sleep paralysis, and I wouldn't be able to move for like 2 minutes straight, and that was like very normal for me, because I just thought, I don't know what's happening, but I guess I'm just gonna let it slide because I can't do literally nothing. And then I'm like, this became a part of my life. Every day that I woke up, I just couldn't move for 2 minutes. I got so used to it that I wasn't even scared about it being something bad anymore. I was just like, whatever, can't move, life's a bitch. And then I remember telling my grandma, I'm like, Grandma, I have a really strange thing that whenever I wake up, I can't move for like 2 minutes straight. And she's like, that's weird. Anyways, back to eating bread. Like she just didn't think of it as a threat to my health. And neither did I, so we just let it slide.
There's a thing with me where I've always had a recurring nightmare. Ever since I was a child, to this day, I still have a recurring nightmare. Thing is, I don't know why, but it's always just followed me. That's horrible. But basically, sometimes I'll just dream that I'm in a place that I know very well, like a street, and I'm like going home, or I'm like going to someone else's house, I don't know, and I just like, I know it by heart. I know every single corner, I know every single house that's around. But for some reason, I can never, ever find my way to the place I want to get to. Like, I know everything like the fucking palm of my hand. But for some reason, I turn the right corners and it's just a different place. Like, it's not the place it's supposed to be. And I'm like, okay, maybe I went down the wrong street. I go up the other street and it's different as well. I'm like, where the fuck am I? This is a familiar place. Why can't I find my way? And then, like, I eventually get to the street I need to go, and the house is not even fucking there. It's just, I go up and down the entire street, and it's just not there. The house is gone. And I start crying, and then I wake up. It's always the same fucking thing. I'm just lost, and I don't know where to go.
I got bread. Sorry. I just had to mention that because there's gonna be a bit of munching. Yeah.
Yo, I like bread. Bread's pog. Is it just like an episode just talking about nothing?
Nothing.
Because we don't have better content.
Alright, so nothing is pretty boring, to be honest.
Yeah, nothing's nothing, honestly.
I have a lot of experiences with nothing, but at the same time I don't.
This is a horrible bit and I'm probably not going to keep it in.
Doctor, I have a problem. Yeah, what is it? It's nothing.
Wait, what do you mean? It's nothing?
Just...
So why are you here? No, it's like, it's nothing.
You just get kicked out of the fucking hospital.
No, no, it's not.
You just wake up dead.
Jesus Christ.
And the doctor's like there's a news article like, man died due to suffering of nothing.
Man dies. Man dies.
Man dies! That's
Man
it.
dies, that's it.
That's the entire article.
There's a plane going by.
Cool. Just leave that in with no context whatsoever. When I'm bored and I don't know what to say, I just go eep because I have nothing better to say. Variations include PP, penis, eep, e. No, probably.
No.
I don't care. Actually, no, I don't say I don't care. It's because I do care. I just don't care enough to come up with a response.
You just don't care to care.
I care enough to care. That's the quote of the year. That's the quote of the channel right there. I care enough to care.
I don't.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm kicking you out.
Oh no.